Hello, I'm Hades, and today I just want to talk about Mortal Kombat 1. So recently we got a balance patch that did cool things like cameos take more damage and down 2 combos do less scaling. But a lot of other changes were very small, and what I predicted they would be just frame data changes. No new game modes added, nothing like that. So I'm assuming that Mortal Kombat 1 is officially done. This is the game in its final state, right? Now, I'm not showing MK1 gameplay because, I'm a little disappointed in MK1 and how it is. It's, once again, I've been uploading a lot of MK1 videos because the game itself is, very fun. I've said that in other videos, and I really do enjoy the game. But from I mainly play online, but I do enjoy those casual modes. And Mortal Kombat 1, it doesn't suffice my needs as a casual player. The burnout is very much real for Mortal Kombat 1. And so what I'm assuming Mortal Kombat 1 is in its final state, that the game is finished, they're not doing anything else to it. That's my assumption anyways. If they did another patch, that would be, it would always be cool. But I'm just going to be realistic with myself here, and with you guys, I think the game is officially done. So what do I think about MK1, its life cycle? They're just my final takes on the game. So overall, if I were to rate Mortal Kombat 1 as a video game, I'd give it like maybe a 6, 7 out of 10, right? If you're, hardcore MK fan, it might be a 5, right? For the casual video game enjoyer, I think MK1 is like a strong 6 or 7 out of 10. It's honestly, it's really fun. My main issues with the game stem from how unpolished the game was, especially at launch. The game, it didn't have crossplay, it still doesn't have rooms or online lobbies, which is disappointing. It didn't even have a Wi-Fi filter at launch, right? And even at launch, you couldn't pin move list to the screen while you played. And so that was very frustrating. Very unpolished game at launch. A lot of my issues come from the game being just very incomplete and unpolished. A lack of modes, invasions. No one likes invasions mode. And yeah, it's very disappointing. The best part about the game, honestly, is the gameplay. The cameo system is very much a huge mistake, but in spite of it, the core gameplay is still very fun. I think they got the pacing down very well. And I think in the next game, if they were to make it MK1's pacing, if they were to do that just with no cameos, just MK1's gameplay with no cameos, I think they'd have a good foundation to build off of. But yeah, so the game in its final state, I think it's alright, if you can get it on sale, maybe like $20 for everything, the definitive edition, I'd say that's not a bad deal. And why I say that is because, you do get a lot of content per se for the price. I think you get Chaos Reigns, all the DLC characters, all the guest fighters, you get tons of premium skins off the bat. I'm pretty sure you get Dragon Crystals as well. So you get, for $20, you definitely get your bang for your buck. I think full price the game most definitely is not worth it. I can't in good conscience recommend Mortal Kombat 1 to anyone at full price. Whether you're a huge MK fan or a casual video game enjoyer, I can't recommend Mortal Kombat 1 at full price. It would be very disingenuous of me. And so it's alright, I know I sound very kind of disappointed because looking back on the game, I was very, very much excited for it. I think I was still in high school when the first trailer came out. I was sitting in class. I was in tech school. But, excuse me, I have a phone call. Sorry about that. Alright, sorry about that. My brother was calling me. Grocery stuff. But, yeah, I was in high school when the trailer for Mortal Kombat 1 first dropped. and I was just in class, and I looked at my phone like, oh wow, and I was so excited for that. And my brother, he bought it. He's a very casual gamer, so he just bought it, just play with me and stuff. But I was very much excited for the game, and at the beginning, the game was very fun. The honeymoon phase of video game. Everything's new. You're learning new things. It looks cool. But I'm gonna be real with you guys. After the first week of the game, you really notice things, right? I'm like, wait, where's rooms, right? Where's lobbies? Where's crossplay? I was at least expecting crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation, but we didn't even get that at launch. And something I did notice right off the bat actually was not being able to pin special moves and combo strings to the screen during practice mode. I noticed that immediately because the moment I was able to play the game, I just hit the lab. But it was very, very disappointing for me. I'd say after the first month, that's when I fully just kind of realized, wow, did I just get robbed in a way? And I looked on YouTube for reviews, see if anyone else felt the same, and very much so. People felt very slighted by NetherRealm Studios, thinking, hey, what happened? And I think for MK1, it kind of stings a bit more, because NRS, the credit where credit is due, they've always pumped out quality content for games, right? All of their fighting games until Mortal Kombat 1 have been pretty polished, like really polished actually. The only incredibly unpolished game they have besides MK1 is Mortal Kombat 9. But everyone loves that game because it's just a good game, with a few bugs, and it's an older title on the 360, so it makes sense. But I was expecting just a level of quality. I think we all were with Mortal Kombat 1, and we just didn't get that. So going to months of the game's life in December, all the desync issues, that was terrible. That really facilitated and killing the game for a lot of people. And another thing, just seeing Ed Boon post about how many people are playing the game. Oh, look at the player count on the PlayStation charts is always topping in most played games on PlayStation. And I think that was very, very wrong of Ed Boon. I don't think he meant to any harm by it at all. I think all of his games have been more or less successful in a sense, and at least with NRS. So I can see why he was kind of tugging at anything to more or less reassure himself, hey, this is going great. I mean, MK1 has sold over, 6 million copies, so it's not a financial failure, but MK11 did sell a lot more. I think it was around 15 million, right? Now, of course, factors play into it. That being COVID, I think people being locked in their house definitely played a huge role in Mortal Kombat 11 selling. Also, the hype off of MKX, right? Two huge factors that played a part in MK11 selling as well as it did, right? But I think they really got the wrong message from MK11. Like, hey, this game sold well, so we can do whatever we want. And I don't think that's how, they should have taken it. With MK1, they definitely went that route of, we're Mortal Kombat, we can't fail. And then they're kind of realizing, hey, you may be the biggest fighting game franchise in the world, but that doesn't mean you can't fail. That doesn't mean you don't falter in some sense. And I think it's, with MK1, the whole life cycle, the desyncs, the bad patches, the bugs, the low entrance in tournaments, Evo numbers. I don't think MK1's Evo numbers ever hit 1,000, like not even once. And in 2026, it won't even be at Evo. So that also tells you a lot. But all of these different factors during MK1's life of it, barely being relevant, and I think it's a huge eye opener for NRS, right? And I agree with a lot of content creators, like Loose Streets, Mike Hollow, MK Tom Brady. A lot of people labeled them as haters and stuff like that, but, at the beginning, they were labeled as haters by MK fans, but time has only proven them right. And I 100% agree with them, you know, and they voiced the sentiments that I had 100%. You know, maybe I'm not as harsh on the game as they are, because I do, you know, I enjoy the game. I enjoyed the gameplay a lot. You know, I wouldn't post any videos about the game if I didn't enjoy the gameplay a lot. It's just other contributing factors that make up the game as a whole that really hamper it down for me. So MK1, it's just, I think, I kind of see it as more or less a blessing in disguise for NRS, right? They can see this and reevaluate. Like, hey, what did we do wrong? Right? Why did we fail? And, you know, I don't think this was fully on NRS. In my opinion, I don't think it's fully on them that the game failed. You know, the game itself, they did make it, but you say I'm a conspiracy theorist of sorts. I do believe they were wanting to make Injustice 3. I see the clashing at the beginning. I see the cameos. I most definitely think those are meant to be sidekicks, and that the clashes were meant for superhero characters. And I think something that helps our argument is the first combat pack. Omni-Man, Peacemaker, and Homelander. All three of those characters are in the superhero genre, right? You know, we haven't had a single superhero character in a Mortal Kombat game until MK1. And I just think it's odd, right? You know, of course, I'm very happy about Homelander. He's very broken, but I like the character, you know, like the character. Maybe not how they made him in the competitive sense, but the character itself, I've always thought, man, he would be great in a Mortal Kombat game. I personally wanted him in MK11, but I digress. Point is, and there's just so much that added up to MK1 being what it is today. And now with the whole Netflix thing, them potentially buying Warner Brothers, you know, I think it's almost guaranteed, but, you know, Paramount Pictures and all that, saying how it's kind of unfair. So we'll just see what happens. And I think a lot of us are just waiting for the future. You know, it's very uncertain. We may not get another Mortal Kombat game in, you know, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years even, if that. So reflecting on MK1, how it was, what it is today, I can't help but feel disappointed and relieved, right? Disappointed that the game turned out the way it did, but relieved that it is over and I can look forward to the next title. The next title being Injustice, MK, or even something new that they could make. I think it'll be great for NRS to kind of spread their wings a bit in the fighting game realm, or even a different video game genre. You know, anything could happen. It's getting crazy out there, and I'm just excited. I'm excited for what's next, for the future. I'm excited to play other NRS games, right? Very, very much so. And MK1, like I said earlier, blessing in disguise, right? A real wake-up call, like, hey, we can't screw up the next game, or else them as a studio might be in dire straits, if not already. You know, MK1 sold 6 million copies, but I mean, I'm just at a loss for words. You know, it sold 6 million, but does it really show the quality of game, or does it just show how loyal the fan base is? You know, how much people love Mortal Kombat. And what I don't want them to do is look at the sales numbers and think, we could do something like this again, right? You know, no matter what we do, we can try anything, we can make any slop we want and they will buy. I don't want them to look at 6 million like that. I want them to take a close look, because I'm pretty sure MKX sold 10 million or 11 million copies, and counting. People still play MKX today. So I want them to really think like, their previous 2 games outsold their newest one easily. I want them to just really take a step back and think about what they're doing as a studio, right? You know, I really hope they go back to one-on-one fighting. you know, for an Injustice game or a Mortal Kombat game or something new. And I just wish the best for the studio, and I hope they can learn from their mistakes. That's what I hope for anyways. And that the next game is better. Because MK1, you know, it really made me think. Really made me think about how bad things can get as a Mortal Kombat fan. So that's my, you know, kind of look back on MK1, my thoughts on it now, and you know, my thoughts on what they should do in the future, of course. That's just, you know, me rambling a bit per se. But thank you guys so much for listening, for watching, and, you know, let's hope as NRS fans, not just Mortal Kombat fans, but NRS fans, you know, gaming fans, that, you know, NRS, the next game is a lot better, and that they've learned from their mistakes in this current title. But thank you guys so much. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. If you don't like the video, you know, dislike, comment a mass. Say what you may. I appreciate the support, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys have a nice day. God bless.